सीमा अभी तय होनी है, चीन और भूटान की सीमा भी अभी तय होनी है। दोनों के अपने अपने मैकेनिज्म्स हैं। हमारे यहाँ स्पेशल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का प्रोविज़न है, पहले श्री शिवशंकर मेनन और अब आज के NSA अजीत डोवल हमारी ओर से स्पेशल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं, और भूटान का अपना है, वहाँ K4 स्वयं ये एक मैकेनिज्म को चला रहे हैं। ये दोनों सार्वभौमिक देश हैं। भारत और चीन अपनी सीमा तय कर लेंगे, भूटान और चीन अपनी सीमा तय करेंगे। लेकिन एक जगह ऐसी है जिसे ट्राई जंक्शन पॉइंट कहते हैं, और उस ट्राई जंक्शन पॉइंट में ये सहमति है, रिटर्न में सहमति है। 2012 में एक समझौता हुआ था भारत और चीन के बीच में, उसके पैराग्राफ 13 में लिखा हुआ है कि ट्राई जंक्शन पॉइंट पर भारत, चीन और थर्ड कंट्रीज, वो थर्ड कंट्री का मतलब भूटान, मिलकर तय करेंगे। अब जो चीन आया, चीन बीच बीच में बहुत बार आता रहा, सड़कें भी बनाता रहा, कभी कच्ची कभी पक्की, कभी थोड़ी पक्की, कभी वो सड़क टूट गई, वो चीज़ें उनकी चलती रही, वो गतिविधियां उनकी लगातार जारी थी। इस बार वो बुलडोज़र, एक्सकेवेटर्स ये लेकर के आए, और उनकी नीयत इस बार ये है कि वो ट्राई जंक्शन तक पहुंच जाएं, एक ऐसी जगह तक पहुंच जाए, क्योंकि बटांगला उसमें मेन जगह है जहां से वो ट्राई जंक्शन पहुंच जाता, कि वो वहां नीचे आ जाएं, जिससे यूनिलैटरली स्टेटस को उस ट्राई जंक्शन पॉइंट का खत्म हो जाए। तो हम जो इस भूमिका में आए वो इसलिए आए, जब तक चीन और भूटान की सीमा चल रही थी हमें कुछ नहीं था, हमारी अपनी सीमा विवाद चल रहा है, उसका हम लोग अपने आप हल कर रहे हैं। लेकिन ट्राई जंक्शन पॉइंट आते ही हमारा हित आ गया। अगर चीन यूनिलैटरली उस ट्राई जंक्शन पॉइंट के स्टेटस को बदल देता है तो सीधे सीधे फिर हमारी सुरक्षा को चुनौती होती है। तो कारण ये है, जो आपका कहना कि मांग क्या है, मांग उनकी ये कि हम अपनी सेनाएं वहां से विड्रॉ। आप कहते हैं कि हम क्या चाहते हैं, हम ये चाहते हैं कि अगर संवाद चल रहा है कि भी अगर कोई बातचीत बैठकर करनी है तो दोनों अपनी अपनी सेनाएं हटाएं। तो कोई भी अनरीजनेबल बात भारत की तरफ से नहीं हो रही है। सारे देश हमारे साथ हैं, क्योंकि सब देशों को ये लगता है भूटान जैसे छोटे देश में वो आक्रामक हो रहा है, क्योंकि भूटान ने प्रोटेस्ट किया, उनसे 4 दिन बाद ही प्रोटेस्ट किया, रिटर्न में प्रोटेस्ट किया उनके एम्बेसडर ने कि आप ये क्या कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद भूटानी गवर्नमेंट ने इसको प्रोटेस्ट को कहा। तो इसीलिए सारे के सारे देश ये समझ रहे हैं कि भारत ने जो अपना मत रखा है और जो पक्ष रखा है वो गलत नहीं है, न्याय हमारे पक्ष के साथ है, इसको सारे देश मान रहे हैं।
China has avoided war or serious confrontation with major powers and has successfully steered into a new multipolar world. China's relations with Russia and India, with whom China fought border wars in the 1950s and 1960s, have stabilized, partly thanks to the strategic partnerships. China has also obtained enormous economic benefits from the partnerships. But now the latest Doklam standoff says a new story.
Embedded deep inside the world's largest mountain range is a region so volatile that the smallest spark could easily induce total regional chaos. This region, known to locals as Doklam, has yet again burst onto the world stage, prompting diplomatic discourse, economic strife, and yes, military deployments. These military deployments have slowly escalated since the dawn of this standoff last month, attracting countless military units from both China and India onto the front lines. China alone has launched a full-scale military exercise in neighboring Tibet, mobilizing entire battalions to full-scale combat readiness.
In the recent standoff between India and China, we have seen many information in the internet. Many have their own way of interpreting the situation, but no one is able to predict if both the countries are marching toward war. However, if there is a war, it might not just be a single-front war. But before we come to the possibilities of any extreme measures taken by any of the countries, let us understand the position of both the countries in the world. Let's begin with China. China is a communist country with a history of wars with its neighboring countries. China has invaded most of its neighboring countries or parts of it by force. China has a history of pushing its borders into other countries and the territories. China's invasion has mostly been as a result of some provocation or to prove that it is a great power that deserves respect. Invasion of Manchukuo in 1945. Invasion of China in 1949. Invasion of Tibet in 1950. Invasion of South and North Korea in 1950. Invasion of India in 1962. Invasion of the Soviet Union in 1969. Invasion of Vietnam in 1979.
Due to these invasions and growing military strength, China is considered an unfavorable country across the world. And with latest standoffs between India and China, the whole world is raising serious eyebrow because of Chinese friendly alliance with terror haven Pakistan and North Korea. Also, China has caused lot of damage to its image in the South China issue, where it illegally claims the sea and wants to disrupt free trade for personal interest. China always tries to bully the non-powerful nations to increase its territory via land or sea.
Let's talk about India. On the other hand, we have India. India is probably one of the oldest culture but has never attacked any country, not at least in the last 5,000 years. The whole world has a positive view about India and also admires how India stands for the countries who seek help, even it is as small as Bhutan, which has negligible military as compared to most countries in the world.
If India was to claim land as per the torn pages of history, then India would have invaded Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Burma, Thailand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka and part of Iran. Let alone invading a country India has never crossed the lock to claim its rightful land. India fought multiple wars with its arch rival Pakistan, even had its army march in Lahore after war in 1965, but never took prisoners of war or took an inch of land. And this is one of many reasons why the world has high regards for India.
India is a part of many world groups. The major groups which India is part of are SARC, BRICS, UN, G8+5, G4 nations and Commonwealth nations. India recently launched a satellite. The South Asia Satellite, also known as SAT-9, is a geostationary communications and meteorology satellite operated by the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, for the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC, region. The satellite was launched on the 5th of May, 2017. During the 18th SAARC summit held in Nepal in 2014. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi mooted the idea of a satellite serving the needs of SAARC member nations as a part of his Neighborhood First policy. Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka are the users of the multi-dimensional facilities provided by the satellite. Pakistan declined to participate in the project.
The World War or the Apocalypse. As Goldman said, we cannot have another world war. War is the wrong word. We should ban the term World War III and say instead apocalypse or Holocaust. If the war breaks out, there would be many phases in this war. Whatever it is, India will be defensive and China will be offensive. The analysis is purely based on the current India's image and stand in world politics. India's growing economy, strategic location, mix of friendly and diplomatic foreign policy and large and vibrant diaspora has won it more allies than enemies. India has friendly relations with several countries in the developing world. Though India is not a part of any major military alliance, it has close strategic and military relationship with most of the fellow major powers. Countries considered India's closest include the Russian Federation, Israel, Afghanistan, France, Bhutan, Bangladesh and the United States. Russia is the largest supplier of military equipment to India, followed by Israel and France.
If India and China has a showdown, then India will have a major conflict. Let us see the timeline events of the war. Till now USA, Japan and Israel has wholeheartedly supported India. Russia, however, has not openly commented anything about the standoff. But then India and Russia has enhanced their strategic partnerships and India has increased military equipment purchase. Now if China goes to war with India, it will not be a single front war as claimed by China. If we have only these two countries are at war without going nuclear, then we can avoid major conflict across the world. But this seems to be very unlikely. America has already warned China that they will interfere in the war if they go on a war. Pakistan is that country who might not keep quiet in case of war between China and India. Pakistan, being a major ally of China, might support by attacking India from the west. America might warn Pakistan not to involve in the war, but the warning might fall into deaf ears. That is when we might see other countries jump in and start the World War III. Afghanistan might help America to use their air base to attack China and if needed Pakistan. The other SAARC countries, that is Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives and Bhutan, might remain neutral to avoid unnecessary conflict. China will then approach its allies Malaysia, Cambodia and Burma to use their soil to surround India from the southeast. However, we might see Israel to join India with weaponries and manpower. That is when the other ally of China, North Korea, will jump in. It might attack Japan out of its frustrations. This might trigger the agitation further and might see South Korea join the war with American forces. Indonesia, Taiwan, Philippines, Thailand and Vietnam can lend their armies or naval bases to allied forces of America, Britain, France, Italy and Brazil to surround China. The only game changer will be Russia. It would be interesting to see if Russia would be a spectator and supplier or would be also a participant in this global conflict. On the other part of the world we might see the Saudi allied forces to wage war on the Shia countries, that is Iran and its recent friend Qatar. The complete Middle East might see an unattended war between the Islamic countries.
World War II was the biggest story of the 20th century, and its aftermath continues to affect the world profoundly more than 65 years later. Albert Einstein once said, quote, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." End quote. At the end of the war we might see end of many worlds and end of races. The geographic and demographic maps of certain countries will definitely change. We might see Pakistan divide into 4 parts, China can divide into multiple parts. Tibet would claim its freedom along with Hong Kong and other countries. No one wants war, but there is a war, then no one can be left unaffected.